After owning my 2023 Subaru Outback for over 2 years and putting over 36,000 miles on it, I've really come to enjoy it. But during that time, I've also thought of a few things that I wish that I probably would have gotten on it if I could go back, or things that I would change up. So if you are looking for a new Subaru yourself, whether it's an Outback or another model, I'm gonna highlight some things to think about in your search. If you are new to my channel, my name is Alex. I like to share weekly videos all on Subarus. So if you think you might enjoy those kinds of videos, consider clicking the subscribe button down below. And as always, if you have any questions, leave those down below and I'll do my best to answer them for you. The first thing that I wish that we would have gotten on our Subaru is going to be inside here, our memory seats. Unfortunately, the Onyx trim doesn't come available with memory seats. We really liked the look of this with the black wheels and the blacked out window trim, but the Onyx doesn't have the memory seats as an option, and it becomes incredibly inconvenient whenever you are constantly switching off drivers. My wife and I both drive this car. We switch it off daily, and it's one of those things where whenever I get in the car or she gets in the car, we have to readjust the seat and readjust the mirrors. Instead, on the Outback Limited, or like in this Touring we're gonna hop in now, you can get memory seats. You can use the switches on the side of the door to save 2 different memory seat settings, and that links up with your mirrors too. So to adjust your mirror here, your seat down on the side, you would save it, and then you would just be able to click that whenever you get in the car. Now, something else really cool with the memory seat and mirrors is facial recognition on some of our newer models. You can see it's trying to scan my face right now, but whenever you get in the car, it will scan your face and move your seat forward. So off camera, I set my memory seats with the facial recognition. We're gonna close the door here, look ahead. It's gonna say, "Hello, Alex," and it's moving my seat forward for me. Sounds like a simple thing that maybe a lot of people would do without. I even thought I would want to do without it, but now that I don't have it, I really wish that we had the memory seats, because after all, these power seats now have like 10-way power, so you can adjust them so many different ways, and it's hard to really find that sweet spot, that same position that you previously had it in. Number 2, something that we do have that I wish we didn't have, is the wireless charger. If you have one of these on your Subaru, you can probably share in my frustration. Unfortunately, these don't work quite as well as I initially anticipated. This first came out in the 2023 model, which is what I have. And that same year, they came out with the wireless Apple CarPlay Android Auto. That's the system that allows you to mirror your phone up on the display to utilize navigation like Google Maps or Spotify, Pandora, music apps from your phone without having to use the cables. Now, you can still plug in down here and charge, but I thought this wireless charger would be a really nice addition so I can completely go without cables. But unfortunately, the charging pad does not charge very fast. That's probably part of my own ignorance. I don't know why I thought that the charging pad would charge quicker, but it doesn't charge very fast, and then it oftentimes heats your phone up, so I don't like it. And lastly, it takes up a ton of space. So there's really not a lot of space here. I can barely fit my hand in right here. Here's another example, glasses. You can't really fit anything here for storage, so it takes up a whole storage area. As comparison, let's take a look at this Outback, which does not have a wireless charging pad. It's not a ton of storage, but it's a lot more than in my Outback with that pad. So if you're looking at getting an Outback and you're wanting to also add the wireless charger, I'd probably say you may want to do without it if you care about the things that I just mentioned. Luckily, on some of our other models, like the new 2025 Subaru Forester, the 24 Crosstrek and Impreza, they have a different style wireless charging pad available. This is what it looks like. As you can see, it doesn't take up any additional space, whether you have it or you don't. And there's an on-off switch for the wireless charging pad. So if you do want to store a phone here, but you don't want to charge it, or you want to store other items here and you don't want that interfering with the wireless charging pad, you can do so easily. I'm not sure of all the details yet on the new 2026 Outback, but I imagine Subaru will probably change up that wireless charging pad. Hopefully they do something like this that is much more usable. The third thing that sometimes I wish that we had that we don't have is going to be the turbocharged engine. So if you're new to Subaru, back in about 2020, they came out with the 2.4 liter turbo 4-cylinder engine. replacing our 6-cylinder, and they still kept the 2.5 liter non-turbo engine. So I got the non-turbo in my Onyx. Most of your Subarus don't even have the turbo as an option, but the Onyx, the Limited, the Touring have the optional turbo, and then the Wilderness trim line that came out just a few years ago, that one comes standard with the turbo. And of course, whenever I got a loaner, I had the Wilderness available to me. I drove that for a week and started to really fall in love with that turbocharged engine. It has a lot more horsepower and torque, and especially if you're anywhere in the mountains, it's something that I would say the turbo is more of a necessity to have. Or of course, if you are going to be towing things, that is more of a necessity, because this can tow, the non-turbo can tow up to 2,700 pounds on the Outback, whereas with the turbo, it bumps it up to 3,500 pounds. So if you're hauling things, even if you're not pulling things like a small trailer, but maybe you have bikes, you have passengers in the back, you're going on vacation, traveling somewhere, you've got your dog in the back with luggage on the roof, you're probably gonna want that additional horsepower and torque when you're going through the mountains or wherever you are traveling. So that's one of those things where, going back, I probably would have gone the turbo route. And the reason why I didn't initially is because it was a couple $1,000s more. So it really wasn't that much more. But then also I was worried about fuel economy, which in the grand scheme of it, I'm only averaging about 25, 26 miles per gallon on this. And it's rated to get about average 29. I knew I wasn't gonna get exactly that because those fuel efficiency figures are done in a controlled environment. But I thought that I would get, a little bit better fuel economy compared to the turbo, which is supposed to get about 25, 26 miles per gallon. So, I probably would have been 3-ish miles per gallon less on the turbocharged. It wouldn't have been something that I would notice. It'd probably be negligible in terms of fuel costs. But those are my thoughts on it now, having owned this car a little over 2 years. The fourth thing that I would like to change about my car that I can't easily change now is the color. Now, don't get me wrong, I like the white. Today's not a great day to really showcase it because it's gloomy out, but this has a nice crystal pearl white paint to it. And when it's cleaned up, it does look really nice, and it is easier to keep clean than your darker colors like the black or the really dark grays. However, it does get boring after a while, and this is something that I kind of wish that I could change and get a different color, but unfortunately, unless I do some sort of vinyl wrap or if I get a completely new car, I won't be able to change the color anytime soon. Now, initially, I was going to go with the autumn green whenever I got this car, but the last minute I changed over to white. I wanted something more neutral, and now I wish I did have something that had a little bit more character. With all that said, I still love and enjoy my Subaru. It's been one of the best cars that I've ever owned. It's a really comfortable ride. There's a lot of good things about it. Those are just some of the few things that I've thought of over the couple years that I've had it. I hope you found this video insightful. If you did, please remember to click the like button down below. And as always, if you have any questions, comment down below. We'll keep the discussion going. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.